Side.
Yeah, but I want to know what it tastes like now.
Okay.
And I want you to show him what we did too.
You want to say hi to Primo? What are you doing here?
Hi, Primo. He just saw me walk right by.
Hey,
Oh,
you there?
Said,
take a break so you don't have to hear you.
We're gonna need like a 2-minute. Well, okay.
Hey,
About a 5-minute
my wife said hello.
delay on the
Damn it.
start.
Think about what's fun.
All right, I gotta eat. They just made me something. They said we gotta eat while it's hot. So
What's going on?
No, you can eat while it's hot. That's not a big deal. I do that all the time while we're doing the show. I'm starting the fucking show anyway. You rat
go ahead,
bastard.
start the show. I will participate to the best of my abilities.
You're damn right you will. Oh, hold on. In 5, 4, 3.
It has the cheese on it. It's got eggs on it. It's got lettuce.
It's time for BGFG.
And ham.
Gonads are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Fremo.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now, here's our host to tell you more about what's coming up next. Host? Go, host. There you go, host.
Hey, welcome to BGFG, episode 363. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, my brother from another mother, Mr. Fremo Z, who, if you are watching live, you just saw his wife lean over and poke the rest of his taco, or whatever the hell he's eating, because it's dinner time over at his house.
No, it's actually very delicious. It's got ham, fried egg, spinach.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Fresh avocado,
spinach,
lettuce, fresh cherry tomatoes,
2 different kinds of cheeses, and ham.
I'm loving this.
It was all cooked in a skillet.
It is not too far in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not too far in the future that you're going to have me and Fremo doing a show with our significant others all at the same time. Because I think that would just be epically funny to have them call us out on all of our bullshit live.
Yeah, it's fantastic. In fact, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about the first story while I finish up, because this is too good to slow down.
Oh, I hear you. It looked delightful. So let's get into this week's news.
BGFG News. You heard it here third.
So first up in this week's news, while Fremo eats, because he doesn't give a rat's ass about this, but I do, is the Warner Media merger. So this was something we talked about on the show a while ago. And what it is, it's a $42 billion merger combining Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Now, I have both. Discovery Plus, for me, was great to get my hands on the Street Outlaws stuff. Yet, the HBO Max is just great for everything else. I mean, HBO Max has a lot. And what drew me to HBO Max first was Doctor Who, because I absolutely adore Doctor Who, and I can't get enough of it. So that's what HBO Max drew to it, and Discovery Plus as well. Now, there's a lot of stuff that they cover. Let me give you a refresher. So Warner Media, okay, owns HBO, CNN, which is now CNN Plus, Warner Brothers, DC Films, New Line Cinemas, TBS, TNT, True TV, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Turner Sports, Rooster Teeth for some ungodly reason, and part of the CW. That's just Warner. Like, nobody realizes how much these people actually own. And it's getting very close. See, the common folk doesn't know this, but Fremo and I do. That they are very, very close to becoming a monopoly. And that's going to be a problem because we can't allow monopolies in this country. But Discovery and shit, they're really pushing the envelope. Now, way back in the cable days, HBO was always there. They had a little tiny antenna. My dad had one. It was a little tiny antenna you put on your roof, and you get this little tiny box that basically had an on-off switch. That was it. And you basically put it on, and that's what you had on channel 3. And it was great. And that's where the HBO logo came in that everybody talks about. It's just a circle logo as it flies through the HBO logo. That was great. And HBO has survived all the issues with cable, with internet, with digital delivery. They've survived and they've prospered. And for good reason. They're smart at what they do. So this merger is pretty interesting. Discovery, on the other hand, has just eaten up everything it possibly could. That was like on the cable stations when we were younger. When Gen X was younger, the cable stations, you're like, oh yeah, I watched this. Oh yeah, I watched travel TV. Yeah, I saw something funny on that. And they keep doing stuff like that. So they own Discovery Plus, Discovery Channel, Investigation Discovery, Travel Channel. These are whole channels. These aren't just individual shows. Travel Channel, Velocity, Home and Garden TV, Food Network, TLC, Animal Planet, Science Channel, Oprah's network, OWN, or OWN. I don't know why nobody wants to say OWN. And it looks like the Warner Brothers CEO, Killar, is out. He's cashing out, which Fremo and I have talked about before on the show. That's not ever a bad idea to cash out, ever. If you feel that you've done your bit for King of Country and you're going to get a payout of a severance package as well as stock options, well, shit. I might sound like a Progressive commercial or a Geico commercial, whatever the hell that is now, but I'm that guy that decides when we pull into the parking lot that we're leaving at the end of the show before everybody else. Wrestling events, we leave before the last match. If it's a concert, we leave before the encore. And I can comment on whatever I want, but I can't. The Discovery CEO, David Zaslav, is going to be in charge of everything, which is not a bad deal at all. But that's a lot of channels, is it not, Free?
It's a whole bunch of channels, and one of two things is going to happen, and that's why this guy is. If it goes well, he's a genius for creating the merger. If it goes horribly, well, let me back it. If it goes well, he's a genius for creating the merger, and he goes out on top. If it doesn't go well, he can fall back on, I knew this was going to be a disaster. That's why I left.
Yeah. I mean,
either way, he's going to float on that golden parachute for quite a while.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of money in that. If the merger is going to be $42 billion, he's going to wait until it ends, or he's already there when it ended. And he's getting the severance packages and the buyout. I mean, that's just the way it goes. There's a lot of people, even in our industries, our computer repair industries and IT industries, that took the buyout when COVID was around. You know, a lot of companies that had older people were like, well, we could buy you out and give you a severance package and call it a day. And a lot of people were like, well, fuck yeah. I'll take the severance package. We had one guy where I work that took the severance package, got like 16. Oh, shit. I can't even remember what it was. It was like 16 paychecks or something ridiculous like that, plus a bonus. And he literally turned around and went to Home Depot to work part-time. I'm like, that's fucking great. That's
yeah, I
so
mean,
good.
you figure 16 paychecks, what, you get paid twice a month? That's 8 months plus a severance. That's like a year's salary right there for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who can argue about shit like that? So it's really an interesting merger, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it because I love both channels, and I watch both channels often. My wife talked us into getting cable. Well, we had cable already for the internet, of course. But then I guess after the cable, we got the video package. The wife in the new house wanted to get the video package, which is great. You know, it's video. But I spend all my time on Apple TV using my apps that I pay for.
Right.
HBO Max. If you want to know the rundown, we did it on another show, but basically HBO Max, Discovery Plus, Paramount Plus, Hulu, Netflix. Though I'm going to give up Hulu or Netflix. I haven't decided yet. One of those two again. But
Yeah.
the cream of the crop, in my opinion, Free, is Amazon Prime Video. Ask me why.
Why?
Because they have the absolute bottom of the barrel movies and TV shows. I mean, they have some absolute bullshit. They have shit that's like not even B films. It's like C films. And they're so bad they're good. I talked to a kid at work today and turned him on to one called like Astro Space Station or something like that. And it was some random creature double feature Saturday morning monster and a guy in an outfit type movie. Not Godzilla, not Toho, but it was a different one. And it was so cheesy and bad. It was great. And
yeah, they definitely have some phenomenal sci-fi stuff out there.
They do, but there's a lot of channels to choose from, and this is going to make it very interesting when they combine the two.
It is, but it's something else I can't wait to see is if there's any spots for recently fired show hosts with one conglomerate. There's some opportunities for them once the merger happens. I'd love to see Chris Cuomo doing Animal Planet.
That would be fucking great. That's a lion. There's a fucking lion over there. That would be great. All right. So we've been speaking several weeks about breaches. And here's yet another.
And no, we're not using breeches as in the old vernacular of pants.
That's britches, you dumbass.
No, it's breeches.
It's britches.
Nope.
Britches.
Look it up. See how you spell
britches.
it. Then get back to me.
Bullshit.
Britches.
You say so, but why don't you go look at see how it's spelled?
All right. So the breach that we've been talking about is Cash App in this case this week. So Cash App has been compromised, and it's come from two people in the industry.
But only one portion of Cash App was breached. So
correct. Former employee, which is the scariest. Like you and I have talked about this before. As IT professionals, the worst breach you could ever have is a former employee.
Oh yeah.
That is a great sound, by the way, in the background. So the worst breach that we could ever have in IT is a former employee because they know all the ins and outs. They know how to speak. They know the vernacular. This was impacting 8.2 million users, and this was way back in December. And like Fremo said, it didn't affect the Cash App itself, but it affected their stock function of the app.
Yeah. So people that did their trading, if you will, through Cash App are the ones that are affected.
Yeah, so it was brokerage account numbers, brokerage portfolio values, brokerage portfolio holdings, and stock trading activity. Now, in my opinion, I don't know any of this shit. So again, you heard this shit from us. Don't take it for too much value. Think of it like drinking at the bar with a bunch of friends. Brokerage account numbers, brokerage portfolio, that strikes me as bank account numbers, bank portfolio values, and bank portfolio holdings, which could be a problem. Now, Cash App says it's only on that side of it. I don't fucking believe that for a second. Not even a little.
Well, think about it. Chances are, and I don't know because I don't have Cash App, nor have I used their stock portion of the app. But chances are there's not separate passwords for the different functions within Cash App.
No, I have Cash App and there is not. There is not a difference in either one. So the fact that they're saying they insist that it did not include usernames, passwords, or social security numbers, but I don't necessarily believe that at all. Like I have a hard time with that one. I don't know if that's true because, like you said, it's two parts of the app, but yet when you log into the app, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So if they were compromised, then they are compromised. it's bad for them, but at least they had some security free.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did. So they may actually have some recourse financially against their security providers, but you know who doesn't have any recourse?
Who?
The Andhra Pradesh Mahesh Cooperative Urban Bank with 45 branches and just a little under 400 million in deposits.
What?
So it's not a huge bank. It's one of India's smaller banking systems.
Yeah.
But yeah, they apparently decided cybersecurity was not a real thing.
No, dude,
Or-
they never
or
put
not
up a
necessary.
firewall. They never put up a firewall. They never did phishing protection. They never did intrusion protection. This is the three, for people that are in the IT industry, this is the three basic shit that you do to security network. You instate resetting of passwords randomly, not randomly, but every often, I should say. You set up a firewall, you set up phishing protection, and you set up intrusion protection. That's just the beginning, but that's the basics that you do.
Yeah.
And here's the best part that I love out of that story is they allowed their super users to reach a capacity of 10. So a super user is the person that like Freemo's a super user on his network. He can do anything he wants whenever he wants. All he has to do is log in. He's got that. Nobody else has that power. Maybe the CEO if Freemo dies suddenly. Maybe the assistant IT director. There's like maybe I don't know, Free. Would you say 3? I would say 3 or 4. What would you say? That have super user accounts.
Well, I mean, we're a little bit larger, so we've got maybe upwards of 10 people, but we have way more the users than 45 banks in India would have.
Yeah. And they just gave 10 people with the same emails all they wanted. The police said that they had no security infrastructure at all. One person responded to the phishing email, which, as we've told you on the show before, when you have a phishing email and you respond, that gives them access. So there was one person that responded to the phishing attempt, and that's all they needed. The attackers installed a rat, which is a remote access Trojan, which allows them to pretty much dial in whenever they want. And because they didn't have a security infrastructure,
they didn't know that it had happened.
There was no nightly sweep. Now, in a lot of cases, people need to understand that in a lot of cases, we run nightly sweeps. So at night, when everybody more or less goes home, we run sweeps. We reset passwords. We make sure the network is pretty much solid. And a lot of times, people like Freemo and I will just write a script and a little bit of code and just have it done automatically, like at 10 or 11 at night when we know most people are just going to be off the network completely, even remote people. But these fuckers, they didn't do anything. So they dropped the rat in there, and it was free reign.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to imagine if that's how they were running their network, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of recourse on someone whose account was drained because they may or may not have records on what you actually deposited.
Yeah.
There may be no backup information, no logs, nothing. I mean, it's so bad that it's comical.
Yeah, it's
like I can't wait to see the Bollywood movie on Prime. Nice little bow and wrapped all that up.
The attackers created new bank accounts and proceeded to move almost $1 million to that account. And then they used about 900 ATM locations to make away with the cash. Now, you might be sitting there going, 900 locations, they didn't do that. Yes, they fucking did. Because all you have to do is tell your boy, look, here, take this card, go down to that ATM down there, right over there. Just get out of the car, go down there, use the ATM. I want you to pull out $500. You can keep it. I need or pull out the maximum, which I don't know. What's the maximum at the ATM? 1,000?
I don't know.
Let's just say 1,000. Here, go over there, pull this out.
Based on this, if they'd have hit the bank's 45 ATMs, I'm sure they could have bypassed whatever they needed to and just drained them.
Yeah. It's just sad. It's just so sad.
It's like, do we pay some fees at other ATMs to get the rest of the cash out, or we wait for them to fill those machines back up and get the rest of it?
Yeah, 900 different ATMs. I mean, they were circling like all over the place for it, which is crazy. Now, moving on to more shady shit. More
here.
Nothing to see here.
Ooh, look at that.
So this one got me really good. We talked last week about April Fool's Day pranks, which we always do every year. Fremo could not make it say he had the stomach bug, but I broke him down. And there were some good ones. Grass keyboard, the one key from Corsair. So there was a lot of fun, but the king of it, I think, and I want to wait till everything kind of faded a little bit, but the king of it all was Amazon's. Their April Fool's joke was very good, so much so that I actually got gut. Now, Fremo and I have made it a habit of April, like March 30th through April, like 4th. We don't really look at news because there's a lot of April Fool's jokes, especially in the tech industry. But Amazon really did it great. So Amazon, of course, creates its own printers. And they decided that they were going to do their own printer, but then they're going to turn around and ban the sale of 3D printers, other 3D printers, which is completely hilarious. And everybody sat back and went, wait a minute, Amazon's building their own 3D printer, but they're not going to allow anybody else to sell any sort of printers? And you just sat there and looked at it, and you were like, well, what the fuck is that all about? Well, it was an April Fool's joke, and I got gut, Free. I got gut. Because I totally was like, that's not something, and that's the best April Fool's joke for tech people, is that it's something like the Corsair one key. Okay, yeah, that's bullshit. The grass keyboard, that's hilarious, but that's bullshit. I harken back, and I told some people at work this, I harken back to the days of 1UP. When 1UP created that one iPad drop-in arcade little tabletop thing. And it bit him in the ass because it got so popular that now they still have arcade games coming out. Like arcade cabinets, like mini ones. But with Amazon, I'm like, oh, that's totally in their wheelhouse. And it wouldn't surprise me if they just banned all the other ones that are on their network. Like, you can't have any 3D printer but ours. I'm like, okay, that could happen.
Well, they actually are big enough they might be able to get away with it, but I'm sure somebody would at least try an antitrust lawsuit against them on that.
But it was all for naught.
Yeah.
Because it was a prank. Great prank. And last but certainly not fucking least this week, the Senate has confirmed Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. This is fucking awesome, people. She's the first black woman to hold a Supreme Court position. I'm kind of disappointed that the final vote was 53 to 47. I think it's kind of messed up. Senator Lindsey Graham was on the board, and he is such a piece of shit and unbelievable. I can't even tell you how much this guy's a douchebag. I can't even tell you. And don't let me miss Senator Ted Cruz either. That absolute douchebag. They both get it because we put a link in the show notes this week for the actual funny spots from it. And you literally have the chairman of the council stopping Senator Ted Cruz because he's so full of shit and constantly asks this dumbass question. Oh, is it not going to answer my question? Are we not going to? Do I not have the time to answer a question? No, you're an idiot. You tried to trap her in shit that's not true. If you're not a fan of her getting appointed, or you're a fan of Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, stop listening to the show right now. Hit stop, go to your podcast, and delete our show.
Peace, I'm out.
Oh, such a douche. It's just it was just sad watching it, and I posted the highlights.
I mean, go back to the Kavanaugh one, where it was the flip side of the parties, and the way things were done. It's just it's an absolute circus every time this happens, and nobody wants to look at qualifications. Nobody wants to look at is this a good idea? They just want to either say yay because they're on their side of the political aisle, or they want to say no because they're on the other side of the political aisle. And the long and short of it is I don't care which side of the political aisle she's from, as long as she does what she's supposed to do in her job. And from what I saw, she will. She'll look at the Constitution and she'll decide based on her own best ability how a case should be decided based on the Constitution. And that's all you can ask for.
Right.
I mean, that's what the Supreme Court's for.
That is. I just think it's. I'm really happy. I just can't. I can't be happier that she got admitted to the Supreme Court. So it's that time. I want to thank the chat room for being in the stream because they were getting a little antsy because we couldn't answer that quick, but we are doing the show at the same time. But I answer when I can.
What was the question?
They were asking me what mic I was using, and they were commenting on Amazon with their garbage content. I enjoy that content. I think it's great because it's so bad it's good. They have a lot of riff tracks on there. They have a lot of really B and C movies. It's just, it's so bad it's good.
Put it this way: if you like Mystery Science Theater,
Yep.
3000.
Yes.
You'll love some of the content on Amazon Prime.
Yes. You'll love
And I'm not
riff
talking
tracks.
about, I'm talking about when you go to a section and you start scrolling and you're going to see stuff that you've seen before, stuff that you're like, whatever, seen that too many times. Don't care to watch that again so soon, whatever, but just keep scrolling. Then you're going to kind of get to the stuff of, well, I never really liked that the first time, so I'm not going to watch it again. Keep going, keep scrolling. Then you're going to get to the good stuff.
Shit that you're like, wait a minute, especially if you're in a Gen X, it's the shit you scrolled through and you were like, nah. You put it on, you went, nah, this is kind of stupid. That's all available now, which is great. When we had a few channels and you had to watch what you had, that was great.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's news. So, oh my God, I just realized I have not changed the picture once during
And
the
you also
entire
said,
show.
let's get into the news, which we just wrapped up.
What'd I say?
You said, let's get into this week's news.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, it's been a rough day. Well, let's get into this week's music then. How about that?
Okay.
And hopefully you'll be here because I got to go to the bathroom. So I might be gone for a little bit. Out of Austin, Texas. This band was formed in 2004. They've got 10 albums under their belt. The name of the band is the Black Angels. Never even heard of them before. And the song is called The Entrance Song. It's new to me. I think it's pretty cool. And we'll catch you on the other side for some GPU news and wonderful stick style stuff. And
Such a
pretty
racist.
much. You're such a douche. All right.
Black Angels don't exist.
I didn't say they didn't exist. You're a dick. All right. We'll catch you on the other side.
Rolling fast down I-35, supersonic overdrive. Rolling fast down I-35, through the day and past the Get ahead, going 109. Rolling fast
That's awesome. So what'd you
But
think?
yeah, Black Angels entrance song. I like the
Good
video.
track.
I read through some of the comments while I was listening, and yeah, very underrated. I'm surprised you haven't heard of them.
Yeah, I know. It was like when you introduced me to the Flowbots. I was like, holy crap, Flowbots are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
It's good stuff.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so I'm gonna dial up some more of their stuff on Spotify this week and see what
So
those
here
10
we
albums.
are. Here we are at our midsection, Fremo, and the beer that I chose tonight
Yeah. Well,
is the
I can't see,
Modelo,
so you're gonna have to be very descriptive.
the Modelo Negro,
Ah, nice.
a fine beer. Now I
Yes,
need
it
to tell
is.
you another liquor story because I also have my standard Jack Honey here. So a friend of ours gave us a bottle of Johnny Walker.
Johnny
It was
Walker, you say?
wait, hold on. It was a blue bottle.
Well, I was gonna ask what color was the
So
label.
right, so it was a blue bottle. So I said my boss is a whiskey aficionado. So when I get it, I have it in the passenger seat of my truck. I take a picture of it. I send it to him and tell him, "Hey, I just got this as a gift. Is this any good?" I go in the house. I open up the box.
Please tell
Listen,
me he responded back and said, "Yes, you can have tomorrow off."
hold on. It almost got there. So I go into the house. I'm like, "Wow, this is really cool. Look at this, honey." I open it up. I pop the cork because it's got a cork, not a screw cap. I have the wife smell it. I pour myself a shot, down the shot. I'm like, wow, that was smooth and tasty. Uh, I feel it like immediately, not burning, but like feel it, feel it.
Oh, yeah.
I have her smell it again. I was like, "Do you want some?" As I pour her another one, and she's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." I take the second shot. I put a cap on, put the cork in, and I put it up. I get a text message from my boss that says, "Hey, that's not a shooter. That is a sipping whiskey. Do not overdo it." I'm like, okay. Now I'm a little worried.
To which you should have said, "Whoops,
I did.
I need tomorrow off."
I literally walked from the kitchen through the dining room and the den and into the living room. And by that time, I'm like, well, my right leg is a little heavy. I don't feel drunk. I'm coherent. Like I'm not that drunk state. But I know I can't function properly. Like I can't drive a car.
Who put 50 pounds of quarters in my right pocket?
Exactly. I'm like, I gotta sit down. Like I didn't have any, and then I got adventurous. Like maybe 2 or 3 hours later, I went to the kitchen to get to refill my iced tea. I'm like, oh, I'll take a shot of my honey whiskey that I always have handy, and it tasted absolutely horrible because I had $200 whiskey before that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's fucking not good. But yeah, that ruined me. So this
Well,
week I'm
see,
doing.
There's a little something you should know about most of, not all, but most of your honey whiskeys.
What's that? They
It's the
suck?
dregs, and they put the honey in there to make it somewhat palatable.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
I've been drinking shit whiskey this whole time and thinking it's great.
I mean, that's just, it's like Natural Light, right? Natural Light is made by the same company that makes Bud Light. Do you think they really take the time to make a different mash for both of those? No, Natural
That's
Light's
true.
what's at the end of the run, if you will. What's still in the pipes after they've made a batch of Bud Light.
I hear you.
That's why it tastes similar, but it's a little weaker in flavor, whatever.
Well, I can tell you that $200 bottle is in the cabinet and ain't coming out for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. I used to get myself a 30-year scotch every year for my birthday.
That's nice.
A 30-year Macallan. Oh, yeah. I mean, you didn't need ice. You didn't need to chill it, nothing. Just pour a little bit in a glass, and it's like drinking liquid caramel.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's Six Tile stuff.
All right.
Gaming.
Smirnoff.
That's what was in the fridge.
That's what was there. So the first thing,
light and refreshing. I don't know about y'all up there yet, but we
here we
actually
go.
had enough heat coming off the sun today to make it warm outside.
Warm?
Almost getting to the borderline uncomfortably warm.
Your
Yeah,
warm is hot.
The wife finally took off the parka, so you know it was warm.
Well, I can tell you in the
She hates the
Northeast, we
cold.
would consider, what was it? Because we got to 71 and there was some people like running outside their house and stripping down because it was so hot.
71 degrees. Yeah.
Correct. What was the temperature at your place?
Inside, about 71 degrees.
No, that's funny. Ha 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 ha. How much was it outside?
I don't know what the high was, but it made it into the 80s today.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, GPU news, which you do every week. I can tell you from being in the industry in retail that they're starting to turn up everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. It's
like mushrooms in the forest.
yeah. It's very close to the time where I'm just going to stop doing these updates because they're readily available. Now, is the 3090s, 3080s, 6800s available? No. It's like the 6600, 6700, a few here and there. And you can still order the other ones if you can catch them online.
Right.
Xboxes are readily available, but PlayStations are not. I haven't seen a PlayStation in quite some time. But the Xboxes are there, which is great.
Well,
And speaking...
it's a basic thing of economics. It's a law
What
of
do you mean?
supply and demand.
Yeah.
Nobody missed buying
Oh,
PlayStation
here
in
we
the last
go.
2 years. So
Here we go.
Sony's like, I guess we can scale back production.
Right.
Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, Curly.
Look, they're both good machines, and they have value. Both of them have their own individual value. Just because
Yes, one is an awesome console for your house. The other makes a great doorstop.
yeah, but you play Xbox exclusively, yet you refuse to play the franchise game on the console. You're a dick.
I literally y'all make it to see me get stabbed live. My wife's a big PlayStation.
So am I. Tell her I am too.
She's over here slicing chicken and potatoes. And she's
You're
not
next.
looking happy at me right now.
So, for you, Xbox dropped some new features.
Yes, they did.
Starting now, when you push the Xbox button, you're going to be able to do an input select.
And if you were a smart man, Janae, you would be busting my chops over the fact that these features were already part of PlayStation's catalog.
No, I can't say that because the changing input thing I've never seen on PlayStation. I think it's awesome.
They've had those CEC or whatever that acronym is functionality in PlayStation before, yeah.
I don't remember it. I've never seen it where you get an Xbox button to select or a PlayStation button to select the input. On Xbox, when you hit it, that's going to be one of the options now where you can change the input of your TV. I've never seen that on PlayStation.
It's possible that Otto Cracky at GameSpot was lying when he said the same feature has been present on PlayStation 5 consoles for some time.
I have not seen it. I'll look when I go upstairs tonight to play Star Wars, which I'll get to in a second. But I've not seen that. I like the idea that when I hit Xbox, because the Xbox has those like 4 or 5 features. You know what I mean? Like they have those 4 or 5 choices. Was it shut off console? Whatever it is. But input select is going to be one of those, and it's going to immediately select the input of your TV. I have not seen that on PlayStation. I'm sorry. I'll look tonight and report back, but I have not seen that on PlayStation. I think the Xbox doing that is brilliant. And the other thing, what?
I don't disagree.
I think the other thing that's pretty impressive is Game Pass. We've talked about Game Pass 100 times to the point where Game Pass is so fucking good, people, that everybody else is emulating them. Even PlayStation is emulating them. They just changed all their plans over to make a Game Pass-like plan because Game Pass is badass. If you don't know what Game Pass is, you're missing out. Pay the $14 or $15 a month and get Game Pass, because not only are you going to get all those back catalog games, you're going to get brand new AAA games, and you will, especially Microsoft branded games, right, Free?
Yeah, and the thing with Game Pass is, some of your monster games, if you will, like Call of Duty, Forza, they may not be free initially, but at some point they'll come around and you can get it for nothing. There's a lot of games out there. Well, I mean, you've got your subscription,
right? You're paying for that.
But even within Game Pass, there are some games that still charge a reduced amount to get the game.
Yeah.
Do you not know that? Yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
but
saying.
I mean, on Xbox, you have the AAA titles for free.
Most of them, yes. Well, actually,
Right,
Call of Duty
right.
will be
Well-
now because Microsoft bought Call of Duty.
And
But,
sometimes they're temporary.
yeah, but the franchise games, yeah, once you
Right,
get
that's
Game
what I'm
Pass,
saying.
man, you can get all those. Yeah,
Yeah, once you get the franchise games, are good. Gears of War, Halo, they're going to be part of the Game Pass plan. Game Pass Ultimate is what we should be calling it, and all the other stuff is garbage. Well, I should say garbage. It's a good amount, but it cycles through. Once you download it, you have it forever. Especially on Ultimate.
and that's the thing. Even if you don't have time to necessarily play something, if you see something while it's on Game Pass that you think you might want to play at some point, go ahead and grab it, because once you download it through Game Pass, it's yours.
Right.
It's kind of like Netflix in that regard. A movie's on there and then they take it off, and then a year later, 6 months, whatever, it cycles back through. But instead of waiting for it to potentially cycle back through, if you see something, go ahead and grab it. I mean, you're paying $14.99 a month, and you can grab unlimited amount of games, basically.
Yeah, it's just a matter of your hard drive, and unlike
no, because you can take them off. You can free up the space.
Oh yeah, true.
Download some more, and then you just have to re-download it again at some point. But I got two 2 terabyte drives, so 4 terabytes of storage.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I always get upset at PlayStation, the fact that you have to purchase the PlayStation. Well, the PlayStation 5, and I know this is going to feed your fury even more as the liquor is setting into me. PlayStation 5 only allows you to store games on the external drive. You cannot play them off the external drive. So you have to do the
new Xbox is the same way.
No, it's not.
Unless you purchase their specific external drive.
Correct.
You can hook an external drive to it.
Right.
But if it's not their drive, you can't play off of it.
Right. So you and I are the type of people that would go out and buy that 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte drive, depending on the money we have available, because we want to be able to play off that drive. That's something we've been able to do for a long time, and we should always be able to do. Freeman and I are the type of people that are going to store our information on an external drive and just play off of that if we can. But it's like...
That's actually one of the reasons why I haven't upgraded to the latest Xbox, because not only do you have to pay for the Xbox, but now you're going to have to, you can't just I can't just unplug my hard drives that I've got all these games stored on and plug it in and play them.
Right, but you should be able to soon, because Xbox is going to have a family pass available that hopefully will have about 5 users to it. Like Nintendo's game plan, there's going to be one central primary account, just like at Microsoft that we've dealt with for years, and several secondary accounts, which I'm sure you can make adult or kid. There's no price or release date yet. There's not. And but
I don't see anything.
But PlayStation had announcements too. They did updates and upgrades. So you're going to get.
Did you see the one where they did the GoFundMe?
No.
Yeah.
What'd they do?
Well, they started a GoFundMe, and if they raise, I forget what the amount is, they'll start producing PS5s again.
Oh, you're such a dick. Oh my God. Oh.
And there's your belated April Fool's joke.
Nice.
I got you.
They
Hook,
updated
line,
remote
and
play.
sinker.
They updated remote play, which I'm a big fan of, and they also updated the PS app, and you can now do voice commands, which is a big deal on PlayStation. Those are cool updates,
Yeah.
but AMD
and they're bringing a variable refresh rate soon.
Yeah,
Support
which
for variable
I'm not
refresh
a
rate.
huge fan of, unfortunately. Oh, I get 120K, 120 megahertz TV. Great.
Great, you can see yourself die in that much more clarity.
Yeah, if you can tell the difference between, and visibly tell the difference between 60 and 120, good for you, dude, because I can't. So I'm old and curmudgeon, so I'll stick with the 1080. But those were cool updates. AMD is doing some things that aren't cool. Now, I got to run to the bathroom again, Free. So why don't you explain to them why this is not...
Gosh.
I know, I'm sorry.
I've told you over and over again.
What?
Use Depends during the show.
I'm not doing that.
And then we can also get them to sponsor 50ish when we launch it.
Okay, that is a fact, and I have possibly thought of that. But right now, I'm not wearing a diaper. It's just not going to happen. So AMD is overclocking your stuff, and I felt that you were going to actually... yeah, all right.
Yeah, they found out that AMD's GPUs are overclocking your processor, your CPUs, without approval, for lack of a better term. So some of you have been running hot and couldn't figure out why. That's the deal. To me, it does not seem like a wise thing to do without user permission, because you could fry somebody's machine. But you know, they did it. Supposedly, it's intuitive, it's intelligent, and it's not going to kill your processor. But there have obviously been complaints of exactly that. So AMD confirmed that Tom's Hardware is actually the one that broke that. Called him out on it, I guess. But again, don't know why you would do it. At least without notifying that it's happening. So more to come on the fallout from that. Yeah. And then you have, they called it Precision Boost Overdrive. Sorry for the pause there. I was trying to find what their PBO meant. Precision Boost Overdrive is their auto overclocking. And anybody that's ever overclocked their processor or their GPU without sufficient cooling knows exactly what happens there. It also, overclocking your CPU will void your manufacturer's warranty. So there's that to take into account that AMD decided to just blow through. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. There's a possibility, if you're one of these unfortunate people who got literally burned by this, that you may have some recourse in the future. So you can go back, check out Tom's Hardware. I'm sure they've got a ongoing update for this. And the next story we have for you deals with Corsair's video capture line, the Elgato, which obviously, if you're watching our stick style segment, you're a gamer, you're aware of who Elgato is.
Oh, yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, it's used primarily they have other things, but the main thing that they're known for is their video capture hardware that people use to.
I use it. I have it on all of my computers.
Green.
I use Elgato stuff exclusively. The face cam is what I'm on now. Geez, what else do I have? The lights are Elgato. Yeah, if it's not Corsair, it's Elgato. I love both those brands, but they just had a new release, and I use.
Well, you do know that Corsair owns Elgato, right?
Correct. Okay. So in the main rig here for recording on BGFG, I actually have a internal capture card, the 4K 62 or whatever the fuck it's called, Mark II. And upstairs in the $6 one, believe it or not, I have the
Now
what?
y'all know who gets all the money from the show.
There's no money. I wish this show made money. You know how much we've made to date?
I'm going to say that we are slightly closer to breaking even than we were a year ago.
No, God, no. We're never going to break even.
Oh, I didn't say we were going to break even. I said slightly closer to.
Yes, you know how much we've accumulated in the show. Oh, not the whiskey burps.
I would say that
because I know the exact figure.
$1 closer to $1 million in the hole is not a whole lot better than, but it's still closer.
You're a douche. We made a total of $3.26 in the show over 10 years, people. 10 years.
No, we've been doing the show longer than that, Chris.
Have we? Has it been like 20? Because it seems like eternity.
We started probably within 2 years of Xbox Live launching.
Correct. It was
Somewhere
1
in
year.
that
So it was
time frame?
2002 or 2003.
Yeah. So
Wow, we've been doing
almost
this a
20
long
years.
time. Yeah, we've been doing this a long fucking time. So
That's all right.
anyway, let's bring it back. Delgado.
Viewers come and viewers go.
Oh yeah, we just had a douche.
DFG will always be here.
Correct. And I'll get to viewers in a few minutes. So Elgato had a new external capture card, which I have, the HD60 Plus, and this is the HD60X. It still does HDR, but now it's as VRR, which is say it again, Free. I never get it right. Virtual
Corsair? What?
No, VRR. Virtual rate. What you said it on the PlayStation. Variable
Oh,
rate.
you talking about the variable?
Yeah, see? You fucking forgot too. Douche.
Yeah, the VRR, variable rate.
Refresh
gosh,
rate.
you had to
Variable
say,
refresh rate. Variable refresh rate.
refresh rate. You were throwing me by putting the rate first. Variable refresh rate. Yeah.
This one's going to do 40K 60 frames, which is nothing special. It does 1440 at 60 frames, which is pretty impressive. And it all passes through, which is also nice. So a lot of times,
Just like corn, baby. Just like corn.
Just like corn, right through. So it's not going to be a problem with new consoles, and it's going to retail for about $200 or so.
That's actually an extremely good price.
Yeah, I don't have a complaint with it. Like, I love, we talk on the show often. I do love the Elgato product very much. I think they make a great product.
I mean, how can you not? Look at the name. The name is just screams elegance and sexiness all at once.
Well, Corsair owns them, and Corsair is elegant, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how you say it, but yeah.
Oh shit. All right, so I did not. So the first thing I want to bring up, let's get into for what it's worth. I'm talking on my ass now. So for what it's worth is basically our segment to bitch and moan about anything that we feel like. Because damn it, we're damn near 50. We're Gen X, and we've been doing this fucking show for 20 years. So we have the right at this point. We're probably one of the top 10 longest, not good, not stellar, not 5-star, but probably the longest podcast. Like, we've been doing this longer than Joe Rogan. So, you know,
go figure that one out.
We deserve a little bit of respect. I mean, I think we've nailed
one
this.
one of us is better looking than him, and the other one might have a chance with him in the octagon. So I don't know why we weren't successful. What?
I'm just saying that's true. You are better looking. I will whoop your ass in an octagon.
I don't know. I got that one move that's your kryptonite.
I don't
Yeah, that's been
the
almost
nut
20
shot.
years, and I'm not letting it go.
20 years and you got me with a nut shot. You did. I can't even argue that shit.
I didn't get you with the nut shot. I got you to get you with the nut shot.
That's true. I threw a block. Yet again, I'm having such a good time in the show, and I'm so pissed off about something in the chat that I'm going to talk about in a second that I forgot to push all the shit across. I'm sorry.
It
And
happens.
again,
It happens.
right, but
It
again,
happens.
and for what it's worth, I know we started for what it's worth, but I want to give a quick little synopsis. I did purchase Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I know this is going back to Stick Style. I've purchased the Star Wars Skywalker Saga Lego game. It is really good. It is completely remastered. And what I'm doing is on PlayStation, I'm playing it through 1 through 9. And on the Xbox, when I jump on that, I'm playing it in the machete order, which I know Freemo, this is going to glaze your eyes over, but the machete order is episode 4 and 5, and then you go back to 2 for a refresher or a flashback, 2 and 3, and then you go to episode 6, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want after that. And people ask me all the time, why is the machete order like that? Because episode 1 essentially sucks. Jar Jar is awful, and a lot of the stuff about Anakin you really did need to know as a kid. It could have been a flashback in one of the other episodes and been done with it. But you made an entire show out of it. And when you watch it, you're going to look at it and go, oh, this is all about merchandising, isn't it? Because it was. It was literally like George Lucas went and like, hey, look, I can make you guys a shit ton of money on action figures and stuff. I get this one guy, Jar Jar, that's like awesome for little kids. But if you watch the machete, and of course the sequels, they call them, which is Force Awakens and stuff, are just, in Star Wars, they became canon, so we have to kind of deal with them, but they're garbage. They're absolutely garbage. You could have done 500 things better. I'm listening to Force Awakens audiobooks right now for Star Wars, and the story of Han and Leia having their kids, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin, and then Mara Jade Skywalker, who was a legitimate badass, married Luke Skywalker and had one son, Ben. Their story is phenomenal. And the way that the sequels, Force Awakens and shit like that, the way they portrayed the Anakins and the Solos, I think didn't do it justice. You have a book series that's considered one of the best book series of Star Wars lore, and there's a lot of fucking books. But the Star Wars Force Awakens series is considered one of the best series. There's 9 books. You could have made an entire franchise out of that shit and not even batted an eye. It's well written. It's just a great story. Star Wars Force Awakens, not Force Awakens, but Star Wars Skywalker Saga on Lego is very good. It's reimagined. You have to get used to some of the controls. They changed them a little bit, but essentially everything is in there. The only thing I recommend as Stick Style and as Freemo and Freemo doesn't play it yet. I know he didn't. But I'm telling you that he would agree with me. Run through the story first. Run through episode 1 through 9 first. Just speed run it if you have to. Don't deal with it like any other Lego game where you're stopping every screen and destroying everything, getting all the studs you can. Don't even bother. Just run through the whole damn thing. Get the story mode done. You get enough stuff unlocked that you can turn around and play the free play mode, which is what the Lego Star Wars games is all about. Right. So that's the Star Wars games. Back to For What It's Worth. Techniques turntables. Freemo, Generation X, you and I, we grew up with these turntables. They are the post facto. They are the shit. They are the thing to go to. Am I wrong?
No, they were. Most definitely. They are what gave rise to the DJ.
Oh, don't even get me going on that shit. Oh my gosh. So the DJ shit on Twitch is absolute garbage. You got a bunch of people just sitting there doing beats and stuff, and I know that software free because we've tried to use that here on the show over the past 20 years. That software basically is going to put on your MacBook. You're going to load all your music in there, and Serato's one of them, and you can sit there and designate what song you want to go with what song. It'll match the RPMs, whereas Freemo and I, who are actually DJs at like bars and stuff, you actually have to sit there and go, okay, what's this tempo? Okay, I
Yeah.
got to match that tempo. You might have to slow it down a little bit and then speed it up once you make the transition.
Yeah, but
These
that's what I'm
guys,
saying. This is, and I'm talking DJ like DJ Jazzy Jeff,
sure.
probably one of the best DJs that's ever existed. Unfortunately, he was connected with a guy who was pretty vanilla back in the day.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean that's.
I would throw another one out for you.
So
While you
nostalgic.
take that sip,
This is so nostalgic. The techniques.
While you take that sip, I would throw another DJ out for you. Magic Mike from
there you
Beasties. 4 turntables and a wah-wah pedal.
Yeah.
What? Look.
Well, there's a reason they called him Magic Mike. I mean,
Mixmaster Mike, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're we're really going off the deep end here. But
it's kind of hard not to, man. The Techniques turntables hit in 1972. They're 50 years old.
Really? They're that old?
They are a legend. The best piece of equipment you could get for the money all day long up until
100%.
You know, there was a point where they went a little commercial.
Yeah. Well,
the build quality wasn't there, which you know, that happens to everything over time. But yeah, I mean, a good old Technics turntable, I'd take that in a heartbeat over just about anything else out there.
Yeah, 100%. As a DJ, I was a DJ for a radio station. We did remote shoots, and that's what we used for those turntables, and they're just rock solid. It's the 50th anniversary for them, and they're releasing some colors. If you look at the video, or if you click on the link, you're going to see the colors. There's yellow, there's gray, there's blue, there's red. They're the same turntables wow. They're the same turntables we've known and loved for years. And now they're coming in colors, which is great for the 50th anniversary. I think it'd be so cool if I'm a DJ and getting those colored ones. I think that's great. It's just great. And don't get me wrong, people that are watching, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to Twitch, go to like the music and DJ section. There is like maybe a handful of people that are actually using Techniques turntables. Everybody else is using the digital turntables, which do all the synchronization for themselves. They do it automatically, so there's no skill involved. When you see these fuckers turning knobs, they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything. They're literally adjusting pitch, maybe, but they're not doing shit. It's mostly levels up there. It's like mid-range, low-range, high-range. They're not making your mix. They literally have that all done. They're picking songs that they like, and when they put them into the system and they hit that button at the bottom, all it's doing is synchronizing that sound. And then they can do whatever they want after that. It's really bullshit.
Yeah. Whereas an actual DJ, multiple turntables, he's got one spinning a little faster, one a little slower. You know, it's just.
When you go to,
it's an art form. I don't care what anybody says. It's an art form.
I agree.
To be an actual true DJ like that.
When you go to the club and you see that guy flip that one ear off, that's because he's listening to the room and he's listening to the song that he's got on deck, and he's trying to match it up, regardless of whether he's going to slow it down or speed it up and slow it down, maybe until the song kicks in fully and you make the mix and then you speed it up a little bit to where it should be. But again, that's a skill set, like Fremo said. It really is. But you know what? If you got the Technics turntables, have at it. It's the 50th anniversary and they're all different colors, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's about 1,200. The only thing I didn't like about it is they chose to. I personally, if they'd have come to me and said, "Hey, we're going to release a limited edition 50th anniversary, turntable, I wouldn't have based it off the model they based it off of. That's just me. I'd have gone with a little bit older version, maybe a third or fourth generation version versus what they built it off of. But again, that's just
they're all great. I mean, there's not a bad one. just the best out of the ones that they have. I guess you're
Yeah.
saying. So I wanted to do a thing about a fridge hack, which basically is something you guys need to click on the link in the show notes, which is going to drive you over to bgfgonline.com. The fridge hack is great.
A fridge hack for you when you get done.
Go ahead, do it. Because I'm not going to talk
No,
about
go
this.
ahead.
No, I'm not. Go ahead.
A chain and a padlock.
Stops the kids from getting in there.
You'll be amazed at how long your groceries last.
You know what else has lasted pretty long is Dyson.
No, do the fridge hack. I actually like this one. I thought it was a good idea.
Really?
Yeah.
So the fridge hack that I had for this week was basically that you need to take whatever's getting old, tomatoes, eggs, not eggs, but tomatoes, eggs, like I did it again.
Tomatoes, eggs, not eggs. Tomatoes, eggs.
Deli meat and stuff, and put it in a separate little Tupperware inside the fridge. Like as soon as you open the door, they see it, and put on a sticker on the front that says "must use."
Yeah.
That's going to help you get rid of that older stuff and not let it go bad in the fridge and make it stink. And you have to get that Arm & Hammer box.
Or
what?
Work with me on this. You start off doing that. And then everybody else is like, no, I don't want to touch that then. I'm going for the good stuff. Then you can start hiding the stuff that you don't want to share in the need to use bin.
That's a good point right there.
That's my hack of the hack.
That's a good hack of a hack. Nice. Well done. All right. Last story this week is the Dyson. I don't even have words to describe.
Well, this just goes to show that we have people of all walks of life that come to us to hear it third.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently James Dyson must have heard us talking about some technology at one point in one of our shows and decided.
Tell him about it. I gotta run upstairs. Tell him about it. I gotta run upstairs.
Well, Dyson is releasing a a piece of well, it's not hard. Well, appliance. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it would be called an appliance, but it's a personal head face mask, self air filtration thing that they're getting around to releasing. Apparently, because of COVID. Little late to the ball game, but yeah, it's a personal air purifier. Looks like think Bane from Batman. That's about the closest thing I can give you as an example of what this thing looks like. But it's got built-in headphones, so that's a plus. Don't know if they're noise canceling headphones or not, but yeah. So if you want a personal air purifying face mask with built-in headphones, Dyson is your ticket. It's kind of freaky looking. I don't know. I think I would probably feel like I'm somewhat claustrophobic. Almost looks like you're going snorkeling while you're walking around. But that's what Dyson's bringing to the table these days after their bladeless fans and everything else that they've done. Yeah, right here. But yeah, there's actually a video in if you go to the link in the show notes. I don't know if he swapped over and showed the picture, but it's kind of definitely sci-fi futuristic looking. And like I said, you can use it while you're walking around downtown, filter out smog and pollution if you're in an area of the world that suffers from that. And Yep. Looking at the specs, it does have active noise cancellation. So, they are not skimping on the technology at all. They're just not sure why they're bringing it to market at this point in time. But
Day late and a dollar
that's
short.
it. Again, I guess James Dyson is watching our news segment.
Because there's
So-
people out there scared to death.
I'm going to turn around and bitch about something before we go. Because we have people in our chat room, and it's pretty much self-contained. There's people that pop in and out, and people chat, and I encourage you to come over to our Twitch channel and do some chat. So a person jumps into the chat tonight and starts, and again, we started at a weird time. We usually don't do this on a Monday. Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Holy shit, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
We
man.
never do it on Tuesday. Like,
This
never.
may actually be the first Tuesday show we've ever done
It's quite
in
possible.
20 years.
So we had, right. So somebody decided to jump into the chat room, and I'm going to call you out on this because I know you personally after you started giving your rant. And if you watch during the music segment on the YouTube video, you'll see the person. And I encourage you to reach out to that person because, look, I'm doing a show, right? Fremo can't see the chat except for the After Effects. I have to respond to it. And I'm doing a show, so I can't really respond to it as well. I respond to it when we have a break or when Fremo's talking or whatever the case is. I'll respond when I can. But most likely, the chat is self-contained. So this person jumps in there, and you'll be able to tell who it is if you watch the video.
Well, just tell me what was said and see if I can guess.
Oh, no, they asked.
I won't guess online where everybody can hear, but.
Sure. So they were talking about Amazon. They were talking about a bunch of stuff, and they were like, they were waiting. And then they said, laugh my ass off. Okay, literally the only viewer ever in this shit, and you won't even answer me. Okay, so you're the only viewer tonight, you fuck. And not to mention, I mean, I'm not going to go on a personal level here, but dude, you've done some shit.
Basically, what you're telling me is that the next time we play Wreckfest, you're going to adopt my motto of I don't care if I win as long as your game ends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. The guy is a good guy, but he's got some weird things going on. It's just, it's hard to explain. I'll tell you offline, but the chat room is self-contained, man. I cannot explain it to you anymore and any easier. Freemo and I are doing the show. We talk to the chat when we can. And that's not often. Freemo responds to the emails. I respond to chat. It's just that simple. You got a bone to pick with Freemo?
I'm not allowed to do chat because there's no 8-second delay
button. Definitely not allowed to do chat. That's not going to happen.
And my email replies all get reviewed before I can send them. So
yes, 100%. But I answer the chat when I can, and it's a live show. You douche canoe. So it's. I don't know what the fuck you expect me to do. Just sit there and have a chat conversation with you. And here's the sad part, Free. No, wait. This guy I know in my personal life. I know this dude in my personal life. He has my personal cell phone fucking number. If you want to get that intricate and shit, dude, text me. I'll answer you. But right now I'm doing a fucking show. How the fuck am I supposed to answer you?
He got exactly what he was looking for. He got you riled up. That's all he was trying to do. He didn't care if you chatted with him or not.
What the fuck ever.
He's busting your balls and you know it.
Yeah, but still, I think that shit's funny because I can see the chat and I try to respond to the chat on the air if it's pertaining to the show. But I didn't get a chance to look at it. At the same time, listeners don't know that Freemo and I have had a really shitty week. And
yeah, I got to get you caught up on some stuff.
And even the fact that we're here, right after the show, and the fact that we're here on a Tuesday doing the show is epic. The fact that we're even doing it on Tuesday is just beyond. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right. That's enough bitching and moaning and complaining. That's it for this week. 10's down, show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com.
You got to warn me before you do that.
Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.